I'm going to start. I really hope everyone can listen to me. Okay, so as you know, the name of this talk is Why There Are So Few of Us in Tech. Particularly, I'm going to talk a little about data and what I have been able to find in practice and also in data about Latin America. So the goal is to establish why there are so few of us working in particularly in the area of science and technology, and most importantly, what we can do to change this. I'm sure that you have listened a lot of talks about that in all the other rooms. And why I'm talking about this, who I am. Well, my name is Rocio Aldeco, and I'm a researcher and academic in the National University in Mexico, which is the biggest public university in Mexico City. And apart from doing research, which I do in cryptography, security, privacy, and if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, you will see all that. I have been doing a lot of work on encouraging women to get into our area. And I would like to talk about that in the next slide. So why it's important to have women in science and technology? Well, first of all, from the entire world population, 51% are women. In the percentage drop for 1 point in Latin America. In Latin America, on average, 50% of the population are women. However, from that 50%, only 48% attend to school. So why we want that? Well, in general, if we improve inclusion in the working environment, it is predicted that the GDP will go up 70%. So that's one. There is a big economical reason for why to do that, but there is other reasons that I will present here that why we want a more equal participation in women. If you check numbers in general on the whole American continent, the number of working women is going up. I present here two slides at the end. There is the references where you can see where I get these graphs. There is divided between South America and Central America. If you see the tendency is that it's going up all the time, it has been going up. I mean, from 1980 to 2015. So it seems that yeah, effectively, number of women are going up in the working labor. So more women are working and going out from their houses and going there. However, if you look at these numbers in a more deep analysis, only 36% in average in Latin America of women choose to go to a STEM-related degree. And from those that are able to choose, that are able to finish their degree, that are able to graduate, and then that decided to have a job there, only 28.5 have a position of leadership. Okay, so I have here some data about that. There is a lot of data about this. I decided to present only this, where you can see the number of enrollment in science, in professional education, in university education, and more. And as you can see, the difference between male enrollment versus female, it's big difference in most of these countries. Okay, so why this is happening? So it is a matter of many factors. It's not only one factor that is affecting this. And I'm sure that many of the women who are listening that will agree on me that it's not only what's happening in the professional areas, what's happening every day in the environment that. So the first one is the stereotypes. There is these stereotypes very strong, at least in Latin American countries, in which there are jobs for women and there are just jobs for men. So even as a woman, if you want to do a job that is for men, it's going to be very difficult for you to get in there because of the society. The society will say that you shouldn't. And then the responsibilities, because there are jobs that are not for women, but there are responsibilities that are for women. So women are the ones they need to take care of children. Women are the ones that need to always have children, to get married, etc., etc., etc. So all these stereotypes affect the decisions that you are taking over your professional life. That, as a consequence of that, we have an underrepresentation in very important areas. The majority of people who has high level position jobs in which they can take decisions are men. And that takes me to the next point. Then most of the rules and policies are created by men for men. Why? Because they are taking their decisions there. They are the ones who have that ability, who have that position. Therefore, they only think about what their needs. I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just like there is not an equal representation. Therefore, there is no women having a voice and saying, hey, that rule is not okay for me. And there are many, many, many examples about that, not only in the day-to-day life, something that has been going on, and I have seen that there are many talks about that, is how much of automatic processes like in AI have the voice of women on it and have data related to women to create and take decisions over, to create algorithms and take decisions over this technology. Then is the housework and family-related responsibilities that are always, which is related to stereotype, that are always put on women's. It doesn't matter if you are married or you are not married. If your parents get ill, it's very likely that your brothers are not going to take care of them. You, as a woman, will take care of them. If you are married, or it is the idea that you always need to get married as a woman, at least in Latin American societies. So that creates a very difficult balance between your day-to-day life and your professional responsibilities. Because if you're a man, you don't have that pressure. You don't need to do that. It's very likely that you delegate it to another woman. Then there is this number that I think many of the people presenting here, the woman presenting here, fit with this characteristic. Stronger single women that there are many, usually are seen as a threat in work, particularly in professional work. Why? Because they don't fit with the stereotype. They don't fit with that stereotype that society has created. Then why you are strong, why you are being single, why you are living alone, that's not okay. There should be something wrong with you. That's something that as women we have to deal a lot all the time. Most of the things that happen around us, mostly in this area, is our fault. When it's not, it's just a decision that you have taken, usually a very conscious decision of stay single or to be strong. I'm going to talk a little about that later. I'm going to put that between quotes. But in general, men are not really happy to deal with strong women that are very assertive. Why? Because that doesn't fit the stereotype. They don't expect that. They don't know how to react towards that. And all these elements create a not equal starting position. So men and women don't start from the same ground, So if you put a woman and a man towards the same career path, it's very likely that over the time, men will reach the point that they wanted to reach faster than women. And the reason is this. And what happens is on the process, many women stop doing that because they are just tired of fighting against all these stereotypes and measures. So what we can do, and that's what I want to talk mostly about here. First of all, we need to break with all these stereotypes. The stereotypes about the role of women in society, but also the stereotypes that women have over STEM areas, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There is a lot involved. I already mentioned some of these stereotypes that are in society with women, and that we need to take care of the family, we need to be nice, we need to speak in certain way, we need to dress in certain way, we need to take certain decisions. If not, we don't fit under the stereotype. But the same happened with science, technology, engineering, mathematical areas. The people tend to think that it's a difficult area, that you need to know a lot about math, that you need to already, with technology, that you already need to know how to program when you get in. And that's not true. That's not true. And at the end, women and men, we have exactly the same ability to get into those areas, and we will learn in the same way. This is not the difference that exists in society. It is not about our capabilities by gender. It's about what's happening with the society around us. So we need to break that stereotypes, because something that happened is that because in the STEM areas there are less women registered, women felt not very comfortable around a classroom of only men or majority of men. We need more women in decision-taking positions. Definitely, that's something that I mentioned before. And why? Because we need to create rules for that. There are many rules in this world that are only created for men. And then our voice is not heard, and then it's more difficult to go through that path, because we need to comply with rules that are not created thinking our needs. That there are many, many ways that we can do here. There are many, even governmental policies for increasing the percentage of women on important positions in which they can take decisions, but still we are not there. With the percentages that I picture, you can see that is not still there. So we need to do more about it. And then when it has happening with this pandemic, where everyone is at home and all this craziness, well, it is exposed a lot. The percentage of violence at home in the majority of Latin American countries has been going up, which is showing that is not only the fact that women are going out and are working more and therefore they're exposed. No, even in their houses, at their homes, they are affected by violence. And also at work, what happens is that when you are at home, you need to take care of everything. Everything is there. Your children, the housework, your parents, you need to take care. If you are the one that needs to go and risk your health to go to the supermarket and to go to the bank or whatever responsibility you have to do, then your responsibilities are bigger. And at the same time, you need to sit down in front of the computer and do the work that you usually do. So what happened is that the effectiveness of women in average is dropping given this pandemic. And as you can see, there is a very strong link with what I mentioned before, that would happen with what we supposed to do. So how can we improve that situation? So what I try to do here is to present that we need to be more of a process in which participation or individual participation is very important. So the first one is awareness. We need to be aware of that, what this is happening. And not only women, also men. Everyone in the society needs to be aware of these situations. So we need to speak up. If there is something that is happening around you, if something in your family, with your friends at work, explain it. Explain and say, hey, this is not okay. I don't agree with that because my circumstances are like this, because I think like that. And let's sit down and find a middle point. Just don't let it happen and don't think like, okay, this is the way, the classic answer. This is the way that everyone has been doing it all the time. And then we keep doing, well, it can be changed. So you need to speak up and explain what's happening there. I think empathy works very well there. There are many talks about that, of how to have a proper communication with empathy. And in that area, I think is super important. Something that I think that it helps a lot is to present these numbers. That's one of the reasons why I always start my presentations with hard numbers, is that it's easier to convince people with that, because there is not an emotional connection to that. It is a fact. So use those numbers. There are a lot of international institutions gathering numbers about so many things, the difference between men and women. Use them and present it to support your arguments. It's not only about what you want, it's actually something that is happening. And then something that is super important, I think, is to be a role model. So every time that you are doing your work, that you are presenting something, that you are going to sit down for an interview, that you are going to make a presentation, think that you are the role model of all these women behind you, that they will love to have your position and will love to have your confidence on every single thing that you do. So think about it, because I think that's also going to increase your self-confidence, and then you will do it in an even way better. Because I know that everyone do it better, but it's just thinking that it's not only for you, it's also for other women around you. With these things, what is going to happen is that you create an awareness around the people that you know. So the second one is to support, help other women to improve themselves, to find this. If you have found certain things that have been helpful for you, share it with them. It might be helpful for them too. Mentoring, I think mentoring it's a marvelous thing. Try to find a mentor or be a mentor and share your experiences. It's so nice to have someone who has already gone through certain stages that you haven't, and it can tell you how their path was. That's great, and it creates, again, more confidence, more assertiveness, because you know that you are not alone in this process. Participate in these events, participate in any of, there are many companies now having all these programs to have equality in genders and be more inclusive. Participate in those events, not only as going there and listen, but also speak. You know, you can, I'm sure that everyone can share very nice stories. Donate. If you can donate, like just what happened with this event, that you have the option to donate, I think these causes are super nice, great. So try to do it. If you can do it, just do it, and you will feel very nice to see that the money that you are spending will be used for improving any of the situation. Then there is a practical side of this. There is a number 3, and that's why I say you need to share your expertise. So it's not only about sharing your experiences and how you reached that position and how important it was to realize about that you weren't exactly in the same circumstances as men, but also you have a very nice expertise area, right? You are an expert on something about technology. Hey, share that. Share that in your social networks, create a YouTube channel and share that with your colleagues, share that with other women. That's something very important, again, because it's part to be a role model of other women, and also because it will increase your self-confidence. Offer STEM courses with your family, with your company, with your university, or with, I will show later all the courses that you can join, but do it. You can do it. You have already the expertise. It's not going to take a lot of time to prepare anything of that, because it's something that you do every day. Just create it, offer them, and stand in front of an audience and do it. And the last one, I think it's very important one, and I have been hearing that in many of the talks before, soft skills. All these experiences that I'm talking about, they need to be integral experiences. It's not only about the technology and how important is technology, and that is not complicated to be in a technology-related career or degree. It's also about what I am as a woman, what I need, and that I need to have this equal starting point like anyone else. So in the process, it's very important that we share, when we share experiences, when we offer a course, when you become a role model, to show how to be assertive and explain to others that it's okay to be assertive. I think empathy is something super important, and that for most of women, super easy to reach. Use it. You have that ability to understand others, to put in the position of others. Use that to talk to them and to make them understand what is the situation that you are. And that's related to speak up. As I said at the beginning, you need to speak up on what's happening, and you need to spread the word. I think now, given also the circumstances, it's very easy to do it online and in all the social media and all the resources that we have. We have that ability, and we are in technology, so we can do that very easily. So we have to use that to spread the word. Where can you do that? Well, my advice will be to do it with girls between 8 and 15 years old. Why? Because it's shown that the best way to achieve that is during that age. At that age, girls start to move away from STEM areas, from engineering, from math, is when they start looking at themselves in a different way, when they start to get less confident, and they start moving away from areas that are usually main-centered. So there are many, many, many ways to do that. I present 4 movements that I like. One, Girls in Tech, that is related to this event, in which all of them have many specific programs to go with girls, to go with technology with them, to teach technology, but also to be a role model to them, to share your experiences with these girls and show them that they can be just like you, that they can take that position that you are now have, that they can go to that degree just like you did it, and that it's okay, and it's nothing complicated on that. So there is Technovation, there is She++, there is Girls in Tech, Coding Girls. There are a lot of movements about that. I'm sharing this for that. I know that there are in most of Latin American countries. But in general, I think that we have the responsibility to empower younger women. If we don't do anything about that with our previous generations, this trend will keep happening again and again and again, because we are already here, we already fight for being the place that we are. But what happened before, what we want is that the numbers of women in general are going up in their terms of participation. So we need to do that with girls. So my advice here is do it and feel that, empower yourself and say, yes, this is also part of my social responsibility, and then I can do something. And you don't need to be full-time in any of these things. Just give one of your days to do that, and you will see how nice it is. You will feel super empowered, and obviously the girls that listen to you will feel the same. And the other is to use this event. As I say, I think role models and mentors are super important in this process, to find a role model or become a role model, okay, with other people. So use this type of events to find more people that think like you, that can help you. I'm sure that there are many women that will do that for you. And that's it. That's my entire presentation. I don't know if I could share it, but if not, I will put it in my webpage, so you can check more of my information. You can also see the rest of my data in everything that is here to share it. And I hope that this is tape. If you want to know me, contact me on LinkedIn. If you are in Slack, also I'm there. Thank you, everyone. I'm listening to I'm reading to your messages just now because I was focused on the presentation. And I think that I'm running out of time. Hello to all of my former students. I miss all of you. I don't know, I'm trying to find out if there is any question. If you have any question, my LinkedIn, I think you can see my profile, but yeah, I can. If you Google my name, you will find me. It's super easy. I have a webpage, and then there is the links for LinkedIn, for Twitter, and everything. Data about gender in tech. Yeah, there is, I will upload the references, but in general, you can find a lot of information from the UN Women. There is a chapter for Latin America specifically. Also, there is a Woman in Technology in Latin America specifically, and it's a lot of data. You can download the raw data, you can download the images. I will put that presentation in my webpage, so you can download it and you can see all the links. But there is a lot of data that you can filter between countries, between areas, North America, South America, etc., that you can play. So if you do data analysis or something, I think it's super nice to go with. Yeah, of course, I will share, because I think I cannot share the presentation here, but I say I will put it in my webpage so everyone can check it. Encourages girl and woman to get excited about tech. I think the most important, Abby, is to show them that it's not complicated, that it's not a scare area. That's something that I hear a lot from potential students that are thinking about going into something related to computer science. That's what I do. But they feel intimidated, that they feel this is super complicated. It will be a lot of math and a lot of men there, and men are way better than me, and they will answer everything correctly in the exams and everything. And that's not true. Okay, as a teacher, I can tell you, everyone has different ability to learn, a different process to learn. It doesn't matter if you're women or men, okay? So if you are able to break that stereotype in their mind by showing that you are doing it, by the way, it's a very nice way, they will feel encouraged. That's why I like this movement, because many of the speakers are women in technology that are already going through that. So yeah, that's what I can say. Make a study related to gender in tech. I have been thinking a lot about that, Gabriela, because no, there's nothing about that. There is some, you can find some research, particularly by country. So there is a chapter in Mexico that does that. Argentina and Chile are also doing a lot about that. Argentina and Chile, in terms of numbers of women, are the highest in the whole Latin America. So they're doing something good there. And there are some social science related research with that expose more or less what I have been saying. It's not only about the numbers, it's also about all these factors in the society. But as a whole, Latin America, not really. Even if it is the data, there is not some research published to find all these links that I said. Yes, thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, so I don't know if you have any more questions. I don't want you to stop to go into the next talk. I'm sure there are so many talks that are super nice. Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope that you like it. If you go to rocioaldeco.com, you will find my presentation there and everything that I have said. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Dora's, yay. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Rebe. And yeah, we'll be in contact and continue with the other talks. And it's great that you drop in here, and see you later.